Good morning. 14B District Court is now in session. This is Magistrate Hilary Braley presiding. Oh. Sir, I believe your case was dismissed, so you actually don't have to be here.
The case has been dismissed?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure we had a zero balance. All right. Well, sorry to waste your time then.
No, that's okay. You're fine. But you're free to sign out. So.
Oh, I'll try to figure that out. Thank you.
Yep. There we go. Okay. So, sir, your case has been dismissed, so you are free to sign out of Zoom. You're muted. I wouldn't worry about it. You're free to sign in. So, yep, thanks. Good morning, Ms. Weinberger. Give us just a minute. To the person on the Samsung device, woman sitting on a chair wearing a white shirt. What's your name?
Pamela Valdega.
Say that
Yes.
again.
Pamela Valdega.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to put you back on mute. You're going to go in the waiting room for now.
All right, thank you.
And sir, on the Motorola, can you unmute and tell me your name? You need to unmute. Tell me your name, please.
Garrett Heineman.
Okay. Spell the last name.
HINEMAN.
Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna mute you for now. You'll be put back in the waiting room. Oh, never mind. Your case was dismissed. You are free to sign out of Zoom.
Awesome. I wasn't sure about that or not. I just wanted to, awesome. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you too. Now calling case number 24C0621. This is Judy Weinberger versus Antonio Farrell. Ma'am, can you state your name for the record, please?
Judy Weinberger.
Okay, thank you very much. So today is the date and time set for a second hearing in this matter. I do see that the defendant failed to appear for the first hearing. Have you had any contact with him in the interim?
None.
Do you know if he's still on the property?
He is not.
So it appears that you were trying to get a money judgment, but you did not have personal service, so that will not.
That's correct, but I have had personal service now. Judy Bell served him.
Okay. I do not have proof of personal service in the file.
Well, they gave me proof of it. Maybe I don't understand what you mean personal service.
So for you to be able to get a money judgment against this person and he is not here, you would have to have had him. Sorry, give us a second. Is it doing that static thing again?
That's right.
You got it. Okay. So personal service means that it would have had to have been handed to him personally. That did not happen.
No, it didn't.
Okay. So there will be no money judgment today. However, he has failed to appear. This is the second time in a row that he has failed to appear. Service was by posting, and the second mailing did go out.
Yes.
Do you have any motions? What do you want to do?
Well, first, I would like to regain possession of my property. It has been sitting vacant. Second, if I do want a money judgment, what is my next action?
I cannot give you legal advice. You would have to consult with an attorney.
Okay, well, then I would simply like to gain possession of my property.
At this time, the court will enter a default judgment for possession only. I have the total amount to retain as given to me at the last hearing of $3,622.19. Has that changed?
Right now, it's $3,876.
And 19 cents.
And 19 cents.
Okay. So default judgment possession only, total amount to retain being $3,876.19. There will be a pay or vacate date of April 1st.
Okay,
Okay, this hearing is concluded and you are free to sign out of Zoom.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. To the person on the telephone ending in 4072, please hit *6 to unmute and tell me your name.
Joyce Sistrunk?
Did you say Joyce Sistrunk?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We're going to place you back on mute for now and put you back in the waiting room for a bit.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Alexandra.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know if that green box that was lit up, if it was talking and say recorder, because I wanted to make sure I can hear.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was saying and you could hear and I couldn't hear. I didn't know what was going on. So now that I know you hear me, then okay, I'm good.
Right. Okay.
Oh, good morning to you too.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your cases have been dismissed, Ms. Young and Ms. McAdams, so you are free to sign out of Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, good morning, everyone. I am going to get all three. Let's see, there is a mute everyone option, and I never remember where it is. Mute all. Okay. I have muted everyone. Stay muted until you hear your name called. As you can see, we've got quite a large docket today, so everybody's going to need to be patient. I do not want people unmuting themselves until I call on them. So we still have a couple people connecting to audio.
Hello?
No, we're not starting that. Stay muted unless I call on you specifically, please. Okay. (14B) District Court is now in session. This is Magistrate Hilary Braley presiding. Again, as you can see, we have quite a large docket today. So everyone is to remain muted until I call on you specifically. If you cannot remain muted until I call on you specifically, I will be booting you out of the Zoom. So stay muted. What I will be doing now is showing a PowerPoint presentation that will explain your rights as defendants in landlord-tenant cases. Landlord-tenant has changed. If you do not pay attention to this PowerPoint presentation, there is a very high likelihood that you could be evicted at your second hearing next week. So I highly recommend watching the PowerPoint and paying attention to the PowerPoint. It will give you your rights. It will provide you with some resources that may be of use to you. For people who have called in on the telephone and cannot see anything, obviously you will not be able to see the PowerPoint. However, after the PowerPoint is over, and after I have given everyone their new court dates, you will be placed into a breakout room with our court liaison, so that if you have questions because you could not see anything, you can ask her then. Now, a couple people trying to connect to audio. Okay. So once again, I'll be starting the PowerPoint presentation momentarily. After the presentation has concluded, I will be calling people's cases individually and giving you your next court dates. So you will need to listen for your name or your case number. One last time, I'm about to queue up this PowerPoint presentation that will be the defendant's advice of rights. After that, I will be calling your cases individually. And after that, I will be placing people who have called in on the telephone into the breakout room with our court liaison. Please stand by while I queue this up.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the 14B District Court. I am Judge MIWashington, and effective December 6, 2023, we are required to provide you as tenants with your advice of rights. This is the format in which that is going to be done. Therefore, it is mandatory that you stay and listen to the entirety of this very brief PowerPoint presentation, and when you are done, then you will need to return to the main courtroom. In the main courtroom, you will get additional instructions about what is going to happen next with respect to your case. Thank you for your participation. First, please rename yourselves. We will start by clicking on the participants at the bottom of the screen. Find yourself in the list of participants. More than likely, you will find yourself at the top of the screen labeled Me, with that Me being in parentheses. Click on your name or the Me and or the More, and then rename yourself with your actual name, followed by the landlord or property management company's name. So, for example, you'll see it on the screen, John Smith dash ABC Apartments. So it'd be your name dash and whatever the landlord or property management company's name is. So, with respect to your rights, parties to a landlord-tenant summary proceeding have the right to retain an attorney. They also have the right to confirm that the case is being heard in the proper venue. For instance, this is Ypsilanti Township, and the property should be located within Ypsilanti Township. The following slide contains contact information for low-cost or free legal services. These services may or may not be available to you. You will need to reach out to them directly. So, additionally, parties have a right to have a trial by a jury if and only if there is a triable issue of fact. A plaintiff or landlord must request a jury trial with the first filing of the complaint if they desire to have one. A defendant or a tenant may demand a jury trial within 5 days after receiving this particular advice of rights information. So you will have 5 days from today's date in order to demand a jury trial. If you do demand a jury trial, you must pay the $50 jury trial fee when you make the demand for the jury trial. All trials must occur in person at the courthouse, which is here at 7200 South Huron River Drive in Ypsilanti, Michigan. The resources that are available to you will be found on the screen along with all of their contact information. There's Legal Services of South Central Michigan with walk-in hours only on Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and Thursdays 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. The University of Michigan Clinical Law Program is also available, but they only conduct intakes and accept cases from the first week of September to mid-April of each year. Their contact information is on the screen. The Washtenaw County Lawyer Referral and Information Services provides, through the referral to an attorney, a 30-minute consultation. The consultation itself is free, but there is a $30 fee for the referral. There's also a $25 fee for referral to the State Bar of Michigan Lawyer Referral Program, and they provide up to 25 minutes of consultation free of charge. If you are a University of Michigan, if you are a veteran, you can contact the University of Michigan Veterans Legal Clinic, and their contact information is on the screen. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the local Coordinated Entry Agency, Housing Access and Resource Agency, which is called HARA, or other federal places are available for homeless, or other federal Hope for Homeless veterans also may assist people. MDHHS is available, the Housing Access for Washtenaw County, also known as Hawk, and their contact number is on the screen. The Housing Bureau for Seniors, contact information is on the screen, and the Washtenaw County Department of Veterans Affairs is also on the screen. So, in non-payment of rent cases for a residential lease agreement, tenants do not need a judgment in order to receive assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services or any local coordinated entry agency or any HARA. The summons and complaint itself from the court are sufficient for you to get help from the state. Also, for non-payment of rent cases, the court must stay or adjourn the proceedings if the tenant has applied for rental assistance. But you must also provide a copy of the proof to the court within 5 days after the first hearing. So if you've applied, you have to apply that proof. You have to provide that proof within 5 days from today's date. That automatic stay that we just talked about will be lifted after 14 days unless the tenant provides proof that the application is pending or has been approved and they will receive assistance. Any stay in any case cannot exceed 8 days. The parties may, if they voluntarily agree, utilize the Dispute Resolution Center, which is located in Washtenaw County, as a possible source of case resolution, but that is only if both parties agree. Also, if all parties agree, they may enter into a conditional dismissal pursuant to MCR 2.602 rather than a consent judgment, so that there will be no judgment on the tenant's record. The parties may use the scale approved form found online to do so. That is the end of this slideshow, and we thank you so much for your time. You will now return to the main courtroom for additional information, such as your next court date.
Okay, thank you once again as well. That presentation can be found on YouTube at the 14B District Court website and also the 14B District Court YouTube page. So give me just a moment. I have somebody here for Mr. Rabbits this morning.
Judge, good morning. How are you?
Also, I'm the magistrate. So now calling case number 24C0790. This is Melvin T. Walls Manor versus Pamela Beldega. Appearances for the record, starting with the attorney.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning. Robert Novak appearing on behalf of the plaintiff P58044.
Ma'am, state your name for the record.
Pamela Beldega.
Were you able to view that presentation?
Yes.
Okay. I should note, you should have gotten one of these forms in with your court paperwork.
Pardon me?
I said you should have gotten one of these forms in with your court paperwork. It says get help with your eviction at the top, and it has the advice of rights on the back. Mr. Novak, is all that background noise coming from you?
I think it is, Judge. I'm in 36 right now. I'm as far away from people as I can be. I will mute myself until.
Okay. Ma'am, if you have applied for rental assistance, there is a form that you can find on the internet. You can also ask about it at the 14B District Court. It is called a DC 539.
BC.
D is in district, C is in court, 539. This is the form that you use to say that you have applied for rental assistance if you have
Okay.
applied for rental
Yes,
assistance.
yes, I have applied, Your Honor.
Okay, so you will need one of these forms. We have them at the courthouse. You can also find them online and print them yourself. If you Google DC 539, it should come right up.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Do you have any questions about your rights?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Okay. You, Mr. Novak, you may unmute and tell me what you have as her balance.
I have $3,100 plus court costs, Judge.
How much do you have as costs? Or do you not have that?
$50.
You cut out for a minute. I have no idea what you just said.
I'm sorry. I don't have it right before me, but it's going to be about 165.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, so that puts you at about $3,265 as your past due balance. Okay. Your
Okay.
next court date is going to be March 27th, 2024 at 1:45 in the afternoon. If
Thank you,
don't have any
Judge.
questions, you are free to sign out of Zoom.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you. Now calling case number 24C0737. This is Camelot Apartments versus Kanasia Johnson Jackson. So Mr. Chen.
For the record, Neil Chan is appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. And do I have Kanasia Johnson Jackson or anybody at 2964 Washtenaw Avenue? If you are on a telephone, you will need to hit *6 to unmute and tell me if that's your name.
Yes, Judge, I'm present. Can you hear?
Okay, thank you. Give me just a
Can
moment.
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You're Ms. Johnson Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna rename your device. What did you say? Okay, Ms. Johnson Jackson, do you have any questions about the PowerPoint presentation that you heard?
No, not currently.
Okay. I will be adjourning your matter to next week. That is March 27th, 2024 at 1:45 in the afternoon. That will be in person before Judge Washington.
I do have a question though, because I did pay a balance. And I just wonder if that registered with the lawyer in the court.
If you've paid the total amount that you owed, which I'm currently showing as 1605, that includes the court costs of 175, then I will dismiss the case and you will not need to appear next week.
Okay.
So, because you were not able to actually view the presentation, we'll be moving you into a breakout room so that you can get some more information as needed from our court liaison. You are going to go
Okay,
automatically.
I'm listening.
Oh, no, I was going to ask what you said, but you will go into the breakout room automatically. It will be very quiet for a minute.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We're all set, Your Honor?
At your next court date, I believe you are.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Do I have somebody here for Mr. Fink?
morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Now calling case number 24C0716. This is McKinley Properties LLC Aspen Chase versus Freddie Che.
Jillian Agan for plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Do I have Freddie Che here? That is CHEA or any resident of 2780 International Drive, number 516B. If you have dialed in on the telephone, you will need to hit *6 to unmute and tell me if that's you. Okay, nobody has responded to the name Freddie Che. Again, that's CHEA, nor has any resident of 2780 International Drive, number 516B. I do see that service was by posting. The second mailing did go out. Attorney Engen, do you have any motions?
Yes, at this time, plaintiff is requesting a default judgment.
The balance, please.
I have a rent to retain possession of $2,190.70, court costs of $175 for a total of $2,365.70. Plaintiff is requesting a default judgment for possession only with a writ issue after 10 days.
Okay. Last chance, Freddie Che or any resident of 2780 International Drive, number 516B.
Okay, are you ready, Miss Johnson Jackson?
Okay. In that case, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the total amount to retain being $2,365.70 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st.
Thank you.
Now calling 24C0791. This is McKinley Properties LLC, Schooner 1 versus Jasmine Brown. Attorney Engen, your appearance.
Jillian Agan for plaintiff.
Thank you. Do I have Jasmine Brown or any resident of 5030 Bosun's Way, number C1? You need to unmute and state your name. If you are on a telephone, you need to hit *6 to unmute. Jasmine Brown or any resident of 5030 Bosun's Way, number C1. Okay. Hearing no response. Attorney Engen, do you have any motions?
Your Honor, normally I would request a default judgment. Here, the balance is only $100.47. In this particular case, I think it makes sense to adjourn it. It looks like the defendant has been trying to get that paid down.
Okay, so in that case, I will adjourn this to March 27th, 2024. That will be 8:30 a.m. in front of me.
Thank you.
Now calling case number 24C0792. This is Provident Asset Management versus Delynn Harris. That had better be Delynn Harris. Attorney Engen, your appearance, please.
Jillian Agan for plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Do I have Delynn Harris or a resident of 892 Maplewood Avenue? Once again, Delynn Harris, 892 Maplewood Avenue. If you are called in on a telephone, you need to hit *6 to unmute. Hearing no response. I do see that service was by posting, but the second mailing did go out. Attorney Engen, do you have any motions?
Yes, Your Honor, plaintiff is requesting a default judgment. I have rent to retain possession of $1,461, Court costs are $230 for a total of $1,691. Plaintiff is requesting a default judgment. This would be for possession only because there's no personal service. And the amounts stated with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Okay, and at this time, given that there has been no response from Delynn Harris nor any resident of 892 Maplewood Avenue, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the amount to retain being $1,691 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. Ms. Engen, I think that was your last one.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, thank you. Attorney Bromlick, you are on deck.
Morning.
Good morning. Now calling case number 24C0660. This is Huron Heights and Huron Ridge versus Leon Martin and Crystal Martin.
Good morning, Brittany Brownlick on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good morning. Do I have Leon Martin or Crystal Martin? I do see somebody with the name Leon. Do we have a Leon Isom on the list? We have
That's mine, Your Honor.
Leon Isom's yours?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was a Leon Martin with a different name, but no. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Fantera. Okay, once again, do I have Leon Martin, Crystal Martin, or any resident of 406 Bedford Drive? Okay. At this time, given that nobody has responded, I do see that there was personal service in this matter.
Correct.
Attorney Brownlick, do you have any motions?
We would request a default judgment for possession only.
And it occurs to me that I need to swear you in. Excuse me. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the best of your information, knowledge, and belief?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. Tell me the balance, please.
There's current rent to retain of $3,799. Other money due, which consists of late fees and water and sewer bills of $258. Court costs of $194 for a total of $4,251. And we would request a default judgment for possession only in that amount with a writ to issue in 10 days if it is not paid.
Okay. Okay, at this time, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the amount to retain being $4,251 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. Now calling case number 24C0661, Huron Heights and Huron Ridge versus Adriana Owens.
And Brittany Brownlick on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Owens, state your name for the record.
Adriana Owens.
Okay, thank you. Once again, as I held up last time, you should have gotten one of these get help with your eviction notices in your court mailings. And if you have applied for assistance, then again, that form is the DC 539. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions about your rights?
No.
Okay. What I'm going to do is adjourn your case to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 1:45 in the afternoon in person in front of Judge Washington. Attorney Bromlick, the balance, please.
Current rent to retain is $2,199. Other money due, which consists of late fees, water, sewer bills, and pet fees, are $338. Court costs of $162 for a total of $2,699.
Okay. And to be clear, Ms. Owens, as if you have applied for assistance, the court does need that DC 539 form. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
Am I able to talk to the lawyer after this or no?
So you are welcome to talk to your, if you want to retain an attorney, you are certainly welcome to do that between now and next week. If you want to speak with the court liaison, we can put you into a breakout room with her, yes.
Yeah, I'm talking about Miss Brittany.
So once I can give you a call following this hearing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Then if you don't have anything else, this hearing is concluded, and Ms. Owens, you are free to sign out of Zoom.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now calling case number 24C0662. This is Huron Heights and Huron Ridge versus Tiara Page.
Again, Brittany Brunlick on behalf of the plaintiff.
Do I have Tiara Page? It is spelled P-A-I-G-E. Or any resident of 1288 Concord Drive. Once again, if you are on a telephone, you need to hit *6 to unmute and tell me if you are Tiara Page or a resident of 1288 Concord Drive. Okay. There has been no response. I do see that there was personal service in this matter. Attorney Bromlick, you've already been sworn. Do you have any motions?
Yes, we would request a default judgment. The current rent to retain is $1,750.84. Other money due, which are the late fees and water and sewer bills, total $288. Court costs of $162 for a total of $2,200.84. We would request a default judgment for possession only with a writ to issue in 10 days if that amount is not paid.
At this time, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only for the amount of $2,200.84. There will be a pay or vacate date of April 1st.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now calling case number 24C0673. This is Huron Heights and Huron Ridge versus Jeffrey Woodford.
Brittany Bromlick on behalf of the plaintiff.
Mr. Woodford.
Jeffrey Woodford.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, say that again.
Okay. State your name for the record, please.
Jeffrey Woodford.
Okay. You may turn off your camera since it seems to be interfering with your reception somewhat.
Okay. I don't know how to do that.
There.
There we go.
Okay.
Can you hear me better?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Having seen the presentation, and I've held up this form a couple times now, so you should have gotten one of these with your court paperwork. It has a lot of the information that was contained in that presentation. Once again, as well, if you have applied for assistance, the court will need one of these DC 539 forms. Do you have any questions about any of that?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Okay. Attorney Bromlick, the balance, please.
The rent is to retain is $4,200. The other money due, which are the late fees and water and sewer bills, are $357. Court costs of $162 for a total of $4,719 that is owed.
Did you get that, Mr. Woodford?
I did.
Okay. Your case is being adjourned to next week. That is March 27th at 1:45 in the afternoon in person.
I don't have any time off of work. Would it be possible to push it one more week out? Because I can get time if I work the holiday. I can bank a day to use as a personal day.
Attorney Bromley.
That is fine with me. I don't have an issue with that. However, at that time, April rent will be due and owing Mr. Woodford.
Okay. It is also my intention this week by Friday to pay between $2,000 and $3,000 towards the balance. I know.
Okay, we don't need to, sir. We don't need to get into this on the record right now.
Sorry.
That's okay. So the next week out would be April 3rd, so it will be April 3rd
Okay.
at 1:45 in the afternoon. Okay?
1:45. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and I believe that completes my cases.
I believe it does.
Fine.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Do I have someone here for Mr. Levine?
Brendan, I'm here for Mr. Levine.
Okay, thank you. Now calling case number 24C0707. This is Village Grove 1 LLC versus Naisha Cole.
For the record, Brent Ingram on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Do I have Naisha Cole or any resident of 1434 Share Street? Mr. Ferguson, stop unmuting. Do I have Naisha Cole? Once again, if you are on a telephone, you need to unmute by hitting *6. Or any resident of 1434 Share Street. Having heard no response, I do see that service was by posting, but the second mailing did go out. Mr. Ingram, raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the best of your information, knowledge, and belief?
I do.
Okay. Do you have any motions?
We would move for a default judgment of possession only to enter. I am showing that the rent to retain in this matter is $816.96. Cost of $175 puts the redemptive amount at $991.96, and the writ would be in 10 days.
At this time, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only for the amount of, or I should say, for the amount to retain being $991.96. There is a pay or vacate date of April 1st. The amount falls below the judge's threshold of $1,500, so no writ will issue without a hearing.
Understood.
Now calling 24C0710. This is Village Grove 1 LLC versus Corey Polk.
Brent Ingram for the plaintiff.
Okay, do I have Corey Polk? I do. Ma'am, you need to state your name for the record. Okay. I am turning off your video. State your name for the record, please. Okay, Mr. Ingram, there is somebody here labeled as Corey Polk. She is not responding, and it seems to be because she has bad reception.
Right. I think it might be appropriate to just set the new date if we can't get her on.
Can you give me the balance, please?
Of course. It's $226, as far as the rent to retain, cost of $175 puts the total at $401. It looks like she's messaging in the chat, Your Honor. Says she's having bad reception.
I sent her a message. Okay, I am giving the next court date of 3/27 at 2 p.m. Okay, so I have given her the next court date in the chat. She just confirmed March 27th at 2 p.m. She did ask about the balance. So that next court date again is March 27th, 2024 at 2 p.m. with the balance you stated of $401 total.
Correct.
Okay. What I am going to try to do is put her into a breakout room with the court liaison. So if she has any questions. Go there. Amy, are you able to go back in?
If I get put in, I can go back in. Let me see.
You should just be able to go back in.
Sorry, Your Honor, I can't figure that out.
Are you on a computer?
I am on a computer now. Yep.
So if you go down to the bottom and click on more, and she left the breakout room. So she's not in there.
Okay. Oh, I see. Join breakout room, and I would just click that and go in. All right. Appreciate that. Sorry about that.
Now calling case number 24C0712. This is Village Grove 1 LLC versus Grant Wilborn.
Renting over for the plaintiff.
Thank you. Do I have?
Good afternoon, or this morning, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. And okay, so once again, you should have gotten one of these with your court paperwork.
Yes, ma'am.
You'll
Yes,
need
Your
that
Honor.
DC. Okay, you'll need that DC 539 if you've applied for assistance. Do you have any questions about your rights this morning after seeing that presentation?
No, I think I understand.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ingram, the balance, please.
He has 1903.19 of rent, 175 of cost for a total of $2,078.19.
Okay. Did you hear that, Mr. Wilborn?
Your Honor.
Okay.
I
So
apologize about the background noise. I tried to go to the quietest place I could.
you're fine. What I'm going to do is adjourn you out 1 week. That is March 27th, 2024 at 2 p.m. in person before Judge Washington. Okay?
Understood.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
Will I bring that DC 539 form in person to her, or can I submit that once I fill it out and apply today?
I would submit it as soon as you fill it out to our court liaison. Did you want to chime in on that?
I just wanted to add that it needs to be turned in by Monday, no later than Monday, to the courthouse.
Okay. Okay. I can try and turn it in today, but it might be slightly after hours. Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm also getting messages from all angles. Um, okay. After hours, you would have to submit it to the 14B civil email address.
Okay. Okay. If I can email it, that's even better.
Okay. Okay. That should be fine. You can find the email addresses on the 14B District Court website, or you can call the 14B District Court. Okay?
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And you are free to sign out if you don't have any other questions.
Appreciate you, Your Honor. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Now calling case number 24C0732. This is Beal Properties LLC versus Lakeisha Drury.
Renting for the plaintiff.
Okay, do I have Ms. Drury or any resident of 1305 South Congress Street, number 209? Once again, if you are on a telephone, you need to hit *6 to unmute. Having heard no response, I do see that there was personal service. The second mailing did go out. Mr. Ingram, I believe you've already been sworn. Do you have any motions?
Would move for a default judgment of possession only. The rent to retain in this matter is $716 even. Cost is $175 for a redemptive amount of $891. Written 10 days.
Okay, at this time, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only. The pay or vacate date of April 1st. The amount to retain is $891, so no writ will issue without a hearing.
Understood.
Hmm? The court's going to take a brief recess. Okay. 14B District Court is back in session. This is Magistrate Hilary Braley presiding, now calling case number 24C0733, Beal Properties LLC versus Anna White Gardette.
Printing for the plaintiff.
Anna White here.
Okay, thank you very much. Ms. White, as I have already held up several times, again, DC 539 if you've applied for assistance, and you should have that resource paper within your court paperwork. Did you have any questions about the PowerPoint presentation?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Ingram.
She's got 2,200 of rent, 175 of cost for a total of 2,375 even.
Okay, thank you very much. This matter will be adjourned to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 2 in the afternoon in person before Judge Washington.
Judge, is it any way possible that it can go out another week? I am supposed to be with my mom next week who's having surgery in Florida.
Okay, Mr. Ingram.
I don't have an objection to putting it out a week, I guess, given the circumstances.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
That's fine.
Okay, so keeping in mind that at that point, the balance for April will be added on.
Understood.
Exactly.
So, that date will be April 3rd,
okay,
2024, and that again will be at 2 in the afternoon in person.
Okay, thank you. Understood.
Okay, thank you. Now calling at case number 24C0734. This is Village Grove 1 LLC versus Tarika Day, Tariq Samar, and Erica Witherspoon.
Printing for the plaintiff.
Do I have Tariq Day, Tariq Samar, or Erica Witherspoon?
Tariq Samar, Tarika Day.
Okay, thank you. So today is the first hearing on a non-payment of rent case. Do you have any questions about the PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah, it was going in and out, so I missed like the first probably 5 to 7 minutes. I know you said something about next week, like if you don't listen to the presentation next week, you could get evicted or something along those lines. My phone's breaking up. I don't recall entirely how you worded it, but so yeah, I did miss some.
Okay, so a couple of things. One, I will put you into a breakout room with our court liaison because she can go into more detail with you. You should have, with your court paperwork, received one of these get help with your eviction flyers that has information on it. It also has the full advice of rights on the back. Okay, so that is first things first. If you need to rewatch the presentation, again, it is on the 14B District Court website. It is also on YouTube at the 14B YouTube. Okay. Have you applied for rental assistance?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Have you applied for rental assistance?
No, not yet.
Okay. If and when you apply for rental assistance, you would need to turn in a form called DC 539 to the court by Monday. And again, our court liaison can give you some more information on that. Okay?
Alrighty.
Okay. To note, you do have the right to hire an attorney. You also have the right to demand a jury trial, but you have to make that request within writing within 5 days. This is all on your advice of rights form. Okay?
Alrighty. And
You are also
Sorry.
You're also able to reach an agreement outside of court or reach to something called a conditional dismissal. So you'd have to speak with your landlord or the landlord's attorney, or if you get your own attorney, they can speak with them. Now, I am adjourning this matter to March 27th. That is next week at 2 p.m. in person in front of Judge Washington. Mr. Ingram, do you have the balance?
I have a. Can I say something real fast?
So we're not getting into details about
It's
your
not
case
anything
right now.
about trying to defend my case or anything. It's about I had COVID recently, so I don't know, and I'm kind of quarantining, so I'm not sure if yeah, I'm just not sure next week and that.
Then what I will say is this: we'll keep that court date for now, but you can call the 14B District Court and request a Zoom hearing.
Okay.
Okay, but you will need to call the clerks. I would suggest as soon as you hang up from this, you call them and request the Zoom hearing.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ingram, the balance, please.
2085 plus 253 of cost for a total of 2338.
Okay. Okay, then at this time, if you don't have any more questions, this hearing is concluded. I will put you into the breakout room court
I just-
liaison.
one brief question, just in regards to the jury trial, is that for the $50 fee? Is that is there a fee waiver form?
Cannot give you legal advice. That is something that you would need to explore on your own.
Okay, I didn't know that was legal advice. Just knowing if there was a fee waiver form or not.
Do you want to speak with the court liaison?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to put you into the breakout room.
Thank you.
Now calling case number 24C0735. This is Elmcrest Mobile Home Community versus Harold Neal Jr. and Tanya Neal.
Granting over the plaintiff.
Do I have Harold Neal or Tonya Neal or any resident of 2956 Prescott? Once again, if you are on a telephone, you need to unmute by hitting *6 to tell me if you are Harold Neal, Tanya Neal, or any resident of 2956 Prescott. Okay. Having heard no response, I do see that service was by delivery to a member of the defendant's household, but the second mailing did go out. Mr. Ingram, do you have any motions?
We'd move for a default judgment of possession only to enter. The rent to retain this matter is $2,802.18. Cost is $175 for a redemptive amount of $2977.18. Read after 4/1/2024.
Okay, and the court is willing to enter that default judgment for possession only. The total amount to retain being $2,977.18 with the pay or vacate date of April 1st. And Mr. Ingram, I believe that was your last one.
That's it for me. You have a great morning. Thank you.
Mr. Landau.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm still in the 45th District Court, and I think they're about to call my other cases. Would you mind passing on my matters briefly?
Pass on your matters.
Thank you so much.
Do I have Attorney Freeman?
Yes, I'm here for Rebecca Austin for Stephanie Freeman.
Okay, thank you. Now calling case number 24C0615. This is Lake Point Trafalgar Limited versus Dawn Dameron.
Good morning, Rebecca Austin for plaintiff.
Thank you. Do I have Dawn Dameron or any resident of 5900 Bridge Road, number 308? Once again, Dawn Dameron or any resident of 5900 Bridge Road, number 308. Okay. Attorney Austin, do you swear or affirm that any testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the best of your information, knowledge, and belief?
Do.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, no one has responded to the name of Dawn Dameron, nor any resident of 5900 Bridge Road, number 308. I do see that service was by posting, but the second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
Yes, I'd request a possession only default judgment.
Amount to retain?
$611.
Is that including costs?
No, court cost of $168. Total $779.
Okay. At this time, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the total amount to retain being $779 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. That falls below the threshold amount of $1,500, so no writ will issue without a hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Now calling 24C0616. This is Lake Point Trafalgar Limited versus Erica Hawkins.
Good morning again, Rebecca Austin for plaintiff.
Do I have
Hello.
Erica? Yes, we do have Erica Hawkins. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
So, I've held out those forms a number of times. So you should have, once again, gotten one of these with your court paperwork.
Yes, I received it.
Okay, good. And once again, if you've applied for assistance, that form is called a DC 539, and you would need to get that in by Monday. Did you have any questions about your rights?
No, not concerning my rights.
Okay, thank you. Then this matter will be adjourned to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 2 in
Your
the
Honor,
Yes.
I do have questions. The way that you worded that kind of threw me a little bit, so please forgive me. I did not quite understand your question.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is now that we're not having a hearing about the merits of what's going on. So if your questions pertain to that, then they'll need to wait until next week. If you've got questions about scheduling and whatnot, we can handle those now.
What time would I have to be in court? And my other issue would be, my concern is transportation, getting to and from court. If at all possible, I would like to do a Zoom because public transportation is not reliable, and I am afraid that I would be late arriving.
Okay, thank you. The court does appreciate that. What you will need to do is call the 14B District Court.
Okay.
I can give you the phone number if you need the phone number.
I'm ready.
734.
Yes.
483.
483.
5300.
5300.
Yes.
Okay.
So, you have your case number?
I do on my paperwork. Thank you.
So call the clerks, tell them that you're requesting a Zoom hearing and they can get that set up for you. Okay.
Great. Yes.
For now, the adjourn date is being kept for that March 27th at 2 p.m. in person, but once you get that set up with the clerks, then they'll be able to get that changed. Okay?
Okay, March 27th at what time did you say?
2 p.m.
Okay, and I'll handle that as soon as I'm done. Thank you, Judge.
You, Attorney Austin, the balance, please.
With costs, $756.
Okay. And Ms. Hawkins, did you want to talk to the court liaison?
Yes, please.
Okay. Then you're going to get an invitation to a breakout room.
Okay,
So just join that.
thank you.
You are welcome. And Amy, you're able to go back in? Now calling 24C0617. This is Lake Point Trafalgar Limited versus Tyler Jones.
Good morning, Rebecca Austin for plaintiff.
Thank you. Do I have Tyler Jones or any resident of 5900 Bridge Road number 501? Once again, if you are on the phone, you need to hit *6 to unmute and tell me if you are Tyler Jones or a resident of Bridge Road 501. Hearing no response. I do see that service was by posting, but the second mailing did go out. Attorney Austin, do you have any motions? You've already been sworn.
Yes, I would like to request the possession only default judgment.
Okay. Amount to retain, please.
Rent to retain $2,227. Cost of $168. The total's $2,395.
Okay, at this time, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only. There's a pay or vacate date of April 1st, the amount to retain being $2,395. Now calling case number 24C0618. This is Lake Point Trafalgar Limited versus Ejana, EJHONA. I apologize if I mangled that. McKinsey.
Rebecca Austin for plaintiff, and Miss McKinsey paid in full this morning, so we're going to dismiss that case.
Okay. That case is being dismissed by the plaintiff. Thank you. Now calling 24C0619. This is Lake Point Trafalgar Limited versus Reginald Elliott.
Good morning, Rebecca Austin for plaintiff.
I'm here.
State your name for the record, please.
Reginald Elliott.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any questions about your rights?
No.
Okay. Did you receive that form with your court paperwork?
Yes.
Okay. So keep in mind, all of your rights are listed on that as well as a number of resources. And once again, if you are applying for assistance or have already applied, the court needs that DC 539 form. Do you have any questions about any of that?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. Attorney Austin, the balance.
With court cost $2,123.
Did you hear that, Mr. Elliott?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, thank you. This matter is being adjourned to March 27th at 2 p.m. in person before Judge Washington. And if you don't have any more questions, then this hearing is concluded. You are free to sign out of Zoom.
Okay, if I can't make it, do I just call them and set up something else or something?
So if you can call to request a Zoom hearing.
Yes, that's okay.
Okay, if that's what you're saying, you can't make it in person, then
Yes,
yeah. Okay, okay. And the court's phone number is on your paperwork.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you.
Okay, you are welcome, and you're free to sign out of Zoom. Okay. Now calling case number 24C0620. This is Lake Point Trafalgar Limited versus Vaughn Leslie.
Rebecca Austin for plaintiff.
Thank you. Do I have Vaughn Leslie or any resident of 5900 Bridge Road number 910? Okay. Once again, if you are on the telephone, *6 to unmute and tell me if you are Vaughn Leslie. Okay. Having heard no response, I do see that service was by posting, but the second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
Yes, I would request a possession only default judgment.
In the amount to retain?
Rent to retain $1,351. Court costs of $168. A total $1,519.
This time, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the amount to retain being $1,519 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. House chair is empty, so. I'm sure these are dismissed, but I don't have them. Okay. Okay. Attorney Lubianski.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. You are here for Attorney Cox, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it seems that we have some dismissals that just arrived. Are you able to tell
That's
me which?
fantastic. I was reviewing the files this morning. I noticed of our 11 matters, really only one I saw has an active balance.
Okay, which one is that?
That would be Mercedes Miller.
Okay, the case number?
One moment. 24C0579.
Okay, so are you telling me that this stack of cases, the rest of these are being dismissed?
They should be, Your Honor. I'm not sure what happened, but I reviewed all 11, and 10 of them have been paid. So my apologies.
Okay. So just to get these on the record then, you're saying 24C0572, that is Donald Bell Jr., 0573 Douglas Davison, 0574 Rafael Guevara, 0575 Amanda Hughes, 0576 Jessica Hargrove, 0577 Jason Riddle, 0578 Laura Gibson, 0580 Linda Stone, 0581 Adam Miller, and 0582 Roxanne Hartman, or possibly Anise Young, are all being dismissed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. If any of those people were in here, I just called your case, the plaintiff is dismissing, you are free to sign out of Zoom.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, so now calling 24C0579, that is Swan Creek versus Mercedes Miller.
Alex Lubianski, P77121 on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. And do I have Mercedes Miller? Once again, if you are one of the phone numbers that has called in, unmute by hitting *6. Okay. Having heard no response from Mercedes Miller, do I have any resident of 6988 McKean Road, number 84? And still no response. I do see that there was personal service. The second mailing did go out. Mr. Lubianski, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the best of your information, knowledge, and belief?
I do.
Okay, do you have any motions?
Your Honor, remove for a default judgment of possession only, amount of rent currently due $1,231, court costs $175, total of $1,406 with a writ date of April the 1st. To the best of my knowledge, Ms. Miller is neither a minor, nor is she incompetent, nor is she in the military service, and the premises have been kept fit for their intended use as a residential dwelling.
Okay, thank you. The court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only for the amount to retain $1,406, a pay or vacate date of April 1st, and no writ to issue without a hearing because that does fall below the threshold.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Okay, Mr. Landau.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you as always.
Now calling case number 24C0691. This is Benchmark Chestnut Lake Apartments LLC versus Yasmin Robinson.
Mark Landau on behalf of the plaintiff.
Do I have Yasmin Robinson or any resident of 1271 Elmwood Drive, number 5? Once again, to my phone numbers in here, you can hit *6 to unmute. Okay, having heard no response, I do see that service was by posting. The second mailing did go out. Mr. Landau, raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the best of your information, knowledge, and belief?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Given the lack of response from Yasmin Robinson or any resident of 1271 Elmwood Drive, number 5, do you have any motions?
Yes, Your Honor. We are seeking the entry of a default judgment of possession for non-payment of rent. The rent owing is $830 plus $171 in costs. Total is $1,001.
Okay, at this time, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the amount to retain being $1,001. The pay or vacate date of April 1st, no writ to issue without a hearing, as that falls below the judge's threshold of $1,500. Now calling 24C0695 Laurel Bay Apartments versus Lucy Hanifi.
Mark Landau for the plaintiff.
Lucy Hanifi, Your Honor.
Okay. So once again, you should have received one of these with your court paperwork. And this does have the entire advice of rights on the back of it. And the DC 539, if you have applied or are going to apply for rental assistance. We will need that by Monday. Okay. Okay. Do you have any questions about that or about your rights?
I do not.
Okay. This matter is being adjourned to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 2 in the afternoon in person.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I could just have Ms. Hanifi chat me her email address, then I can reach out to her and we can see if we can resolve the matter in between now and the next hearing.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Of course.
And Mr. Landau, the balance, please.
Her balance, inclusive of court costs, is $1,559.95. And I've got Ms. Hanifi's email address now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then if there's nothing further, this hearing is concluded. Ms. Hannafy, you are free to sign out of Zoom.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now calling 24C0696. This is Laurel Bay Apartments versus Tasha Wiggins. Appearances for the record.
Mark Lando for the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Do I have Tasha Wiggins or any resident of 1634 Laurel Bay Drive? Having heard no response, I do see that service was by delivery to a member of the defendant's household. The second mailing did go out. Okay, Attorney Landau.
We are seeking the entry of a default judgment
No,
of
Attorney
possession.
Landau. Attorney Landau. That was the prelude to a question. I'm sorry. I'm sitting on the Register of Actions summons and complaint for substituted service. Dated
Yes.
March 10th. Okay. Did anything happen with that?
Yes, substituted service was accomplished, but there was also the second mailing. So under the new court rule, we should be able to seek the entry of a default judgment.
Yes. Okay. Well, and we have not heard anything from Tasha Wiggins nor any resident of 1634 Laurel Bay Drive. So your motion?
Yes, Your Honor. We are seeking the entry of a default judgment of possession for non-payment of rent. The rent owing is $1,374.10 plus $171 in costs. Total is $1,545.10.
Okay. And at this time, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the amount to retain being $1,545.10 and a pay or vacate date of April 1st. Now calling 24C0700. This is Country Meadows Apartments versus Brittany Gillespie.
Mark Lando for the plaintiff.
Brittany Gillespie.
Okay, thank you very much. And once again, you should have gotten one of these with your court paperwork.
Yes.
And if you've applied for the rental assistance, that is the DC 539 form that we will need at the court by Monday. Do you have any questions about that or about the PowerPoint presentation?
No.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Landau, the balance, please.
Balance is $2,780.40 inclusive of court costs.
Okay. Ms. Gillespie, did you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, your matter is being adjourned to March 27th at 2 in the afternoon in person before Judge Washington.
In person?
Yes, if you need to make other arrangements, you can call the court to request a Zoom hearing.
Okay.
Okay. And the court's phone number is on your paperwork.
Okay.
And Your Honor, if I could get Ms. Gillespie to chat me her email address, we'll see if we can resolve it in advance of the next hearing.
Ms. Gillespie, is that something that you're able to do?
Yes, typing it right now in the chat.
Okay. Thank you.
Just sent it.
Received. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And thank you. If you don't have anything else, then this hearing is concluded. You are free to sign out of Zoom.
Okay.
Now calling 24C0702. This is Country Meadows Apartments versus Jocelyn Jones and Umberto Reyes. Appearances for the record.
Mark Lando for the plaintiff.
Do I have Jocelyn Jones or Umberto Reyes? Or any resident of 170 Stevens Drive, number 102. I do see that service was by posting. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
Yes, Your Honor, we are seeking the entry of a default judgment of possession for non-payment of rent. The rent owing is $1,335.30 plus $171 in costs. Total is $1,506.30.
Okay. At this time, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the amount to retain being $1,506.30 and a pay or vacate date of April 1st. Now calling 24C0705. This is Country Meadows Apartments versus Shataria Lilly and Wanissa Nelson. Appearances for the record, please.
Mark Lando for the plaintiff.
Do I have Shataria Lilly, Wanissa Nelson, or any resident of 301 Stevens Drive, number 101? Okay. Having heard no response, I do see that service was by posting. The second mailing did go out. Mr. Landau, do you have any motions?
Yes, Your Honor, we are seeking the entry of a default judgment of possession for non-payment of rent. The rent owing is $1,236.90 plus $171 in costs. Total is $1,407.90.
Okay, at this time, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the amount to retain being $1,407.90 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. No writ to issue without a hearing, as that amount falls below the judge's threshold. And Mr. Landau, I believe that was your last one.
That's all I got, Judge or Magistrate. We will see you next time.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Thank you, you too. Okay. Attorney Saperstein, are you here for pellets?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Now calling case number 24C0622. This is Lakeview versus Angela Battle.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Do I have Angela Battle or any resident of 9943 Julie Drive, number 128?
Yes. Angela
Okay.
Battle.
Thank you. Okay, so I know that you were not able to actually see the presentation. Were you able to hear it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Do you have any questions about your rights?
No, I don't.
Okay, what I will be doing is putting you into a breakout room with our court liaison so that if you need any of the phone numbers or anything from the presentation, she can provide those to you, as well as give you any other information from that presentation that you might need. You should have received a form with your court paperwork that says "Get help with your eviction" at the top in bold letters. That does have a lot of the information, and the advice of rights is printed on that as well.
Yes, I did.
Okay. And once again, if you applied for rental assistance or are planning to, you need to fill out that form DC-539 and submit it to the court by Monday. Do you have any questions about any of that?
No, I don't.
Okay. So at this time, then this matter is being adjourned to March 27th, 2024. And that will be at 2:30 in the afternoon.
2:30. Okay.
Yes.
At the court or on Zoom?
That will be at the court in person before Judge Washington.
Okay.
Okay. And Attorney Saperstein, the balance, please.
$1,642.04 for cost $172 for a total amount due knowing of $1,814.04.
Okay, Ms. Battle, did you hear that?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, okay, thank you. If you don't have any questions at this time, this hearing is concluded. I am going to put you into a breakout room with the court liaison.
Okay, thank you very much and have a great day.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Now calling 24C0624. This is Lakeview versus Lamisha Caddell, Caddell. Appearances for the record, please.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Do I have Lamisha Caddell or any resident of 6215 Lake Drive, number 362? Attorney Saperstein, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the best of your information, knowledge, and belief?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. So once again, having heard no response from anyone named Lamisha Caddell nor any resident of 6215 Lake Drive, number 362, I do see that there was personal service and the second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
Yes, we move for a default judgment. The amount of rent due and owing is $765.76. Court costs $172 for a total amount of $937.76. Request judgment for that amount for possession only with the writ to issue after 10 days.
Okay, to be clear, this is not a money judgment.
Correct.
Okay, so the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the amount to retain being $937.76. There will be a pay or vacate date of April 1st. No writ will issue without a hearing as that amount falls below the threshold.
Thank you.
You now calling 24C0625. This is Lakeview versus Adrian Cole. Appearances for the record.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay. Do I have Adrian Cole or any resident of 9827 Julie Drive, number 059? Having heard no response, I do see that there was personal service. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
We move for a default judgment on this matter. The amount of rent due and owing is $1,918.42. Court costs $172 for a total amount due and owing of $2,090.42. We request judgment for that amount for possession only with writ to issue after 10 days.
So to be clear, the judgment is not for that amount. That is the amount to retain possession. The court is willing to enter the default judgment for possession only, that amount to retain being $2,090.42 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now calling 24C0626. This is Lakeview versus Tanisha Cole. Appearances for the record.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay, do I have Tanisha Cole or any resident of 6207 Lake Drive, number 360? Hearing no response, I do see that service was personal. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
We request a default judgment for possession only. The amount of rent due is $2,353.42. Court costs $172 for a total amount of $2,525.42. with the writ to issue on or after April 1st.
So the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the amount to retain being $2,525.42 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. Now calling 24C0629. This is Lakeview versus Jerron Urban. Appearances for the record.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay, and I do see a device labeled Jerron Urban in the courtroom.
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name for the record.
Jerron Urban.
Okay, and you are not driving, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you're pulled over?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Once again, you should have received one of these forms with your court paperwork that does have the advice of rights information on the other side. If you are applying for assistance, the court will need the DC 539 by Monday. Do you have any questions about that or about your rights?
No, ma'am. I paid my rent completely up, though.
Okay. Depending on when you did it, that may have not been, that may not have made its way to the attorney at this point. So I will be adjourning this matter 1 week, that is to March 27th, 2024 at 2:30 in the afternoon. That will be in person, but if your balance is 0 prior to that court date, then the attorney will likely be filing a dismissal. Attorney Saperstein, what do you have the balance as?
We have it as $809.79. Court costs $172 for a total of $981.79.
Okay, so Mr. Irvin, if you've got receipts or anything, also please do not smoke in court. So if you have receipts showing that that balance should be 0, then bring those with you to court.
Okay, what day you said it was again? I'm sorry.
March 27th at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Okay, that's no problem.
Okay. If you don't have any questions and this hearing is concluded, you are free to sign out of Zoom.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now calling 24C0630. This is Lakeview versus Dennis Foley.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Do I have Dennis Foley or any resident of 9952 Julie Drive, number 209? Once
Wait,
again,
so which one is this one? It looks like this one. I have 2 different notes here, but the manager is here, but there is a small balance due. Is the manager online right now?
do we have anybody here from Lakeview? Okay, nobody's.
I thought they were here because there's 2 separate notes, but I'll proceed forward and we'll have the case adjourned if no one's here.
Yeah. Okay. So then this matter is being adjourned to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 8:30 in the morning over Zoom in front of me.
Okay, thank you.
You. 24C0632. This is Lakeview versus Dominic Franklin. Appearances, please.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Do I have Dominic Franklin or any resident of 9908 Geraldine Street, number 250? Having heard no response, I do see that service was by posting. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
Yes, we move for a default judgment for possession only. The amount of rent due knowing is $5,019.83. Court costs $172 for a total amount of $5,191.83. We request judgment in that amount with the writ to issue on or after April 1st.
This is a default judgment for possession only. The amount to retain would be $5,191.83 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. Now calling 24C0633. This is Lakeview versus Cavante Green.
Andrew Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Thank you. Mr. Green had appeared and had been in the waiting room. However, he was late enough to miss the PowerPoint presentation. His matter is being adjourned to next week. So that will be March 27th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. in front of me.
Thank you.
Now calling 24C0634. This is Lakeview versus Candace Greer.
Andrew Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. There has been no response. The court does not see any devices labeled Candace Greer in the courtroom, nor any resident of 9812 Geraldine Street, number 249. Attorney Saperstein, I do see that service was personal. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
We move for a default judgment for possession only. The amount of rent due and owing is $954.13. Court costs $172 for a total amount of $1,126.13. And we request judgment for possession only with the writ to issue after 10 days.
The court is willing to enter the default judgment for possession only, the total amount to retain being $1,126.13, a pay or vacate date of April 1st, no writ to issue without a hearing. Now calling 24C0635. This is Lakeview versus Pebbles Gwynn.
Andrew Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Thank you. And Pebbles Gwynn, can you state your name for the record?
Pebbles Gwynn.
Okay, thank you very much. So once again, you heard the PowerPoint presentation. You should have received one of these with your court paperwork. If you are applying for assistance, you should complete that DC 539 form and return it into the court by Monday. Do you have any questions about any of that?
No, I do not want
to. Okay, thank you. This matter is being adjourned to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 2:30 in the afternoon in person. Attorney Saperstein, the balance as you have it.
$1,440.77. Court costs $172 for a total amount due and owing of $1,612.77.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Gwynn, did you catch all that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And you've got your next court date. If you don't have any further questions, you are free to sign out of Zoom.
All right, thank you.
Now calling case number 24C0637. This is Lakeview versus Valerie Barnes.
Andrew Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Valerie Barnes.
Thank you. Give me just a moment. So, Ms. Barnes. Once again, you should have gotten one of these with your court paperwork that has more information on it.
Yeah.
And with the DC 539, if you're applying for rental assistance, again, that has to be to the court by Monday. Do you have any questions about any of that or about your rights?
No, but I did apply for rental assistance.
Okay, so you will need to complete that form. We should have them here at the court. You can also just print them off online. If you Google Michigan DC 539, it should pop up.
DC 539?
Correct. Did you want to go to a breakout room with the court liaison?
Yes.
Okay, so I will do that when we are done here. Attorney Saperstein, the balance, please.
The amount of rent due is $1,525.62. Court costs $172 for a total of $1,697.62.
Now on my thing it said 1,900. I don't know which they put extra on there. It was 1904. That's what the Hawk lady told me too.
Okay, so that is something that can be resolved potentially between now and the next hearing. If you've got paperwork saying something else, bring it with you to the next hearing. Feel free to reach out to either an attorney to represent you or to your landlord. Okay. This matter is being adjourned to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 2:30 in the afternoon in person.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And ma'am, give me just a moment. You'll get an invitation to the breakout room.
Okay.
Amy, are you able to rejoin the breakout room?
Uh-oh.
I don't think so. Oh, okay. No, could you put me in like you did before? Yes.
Ms. Barnes, you should have gotten an invitation.
Okay, I hit one button, but it ain't go through.
Magistrate, can I go grab a cord for my computer? It says I'm very low on battery.
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, I'm gonna run.
Could they send me another one? Okay, there it go.
Okay, thank you.
Now calling case number 24C0639. This is Lakeview versus Haley Horgrow.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Do I have Haley Horgrow or any resident of 6040 Lake Drive, number 097? Okay. Having heard no response and seeing nobody labeled that way in the courtroom, I do see that service was by posting. The second mailing did go out. Attorney Saperstein, do you have any motions?
We move for a default judgment on this matter. The amount of rent due and owing is $4,541.27. Court costs $172 for a total amount of $4,713.27. We request judgment for possession only with the writ to issue after 10 days.
Okay, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only. The amount to retain is $4,713.27 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. Now calling 24C0640. This is Lakeview versus Celicia Jones. Appearances for the record.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. The court does not see anybody named Celicia Jones. Is there any resident of 6035 Lake Drive, number 111? Hearing no response and seeing no one labeled that way in the courtroom, I do see that service was by delivery to a member of the defendant's household. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
We move for a default judgment on this matter. The amount of rent due and owing is $1,291.13. Court costs $172 for a total amount of $1,463.13. We request judgment for possession only with the writ to issue after 10 days.
The court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the amount to retain being $1,463.13 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. No writ to issue without a hearing. Now calling 24C0641. This is Lakeview versus Laura Jackson and Linda Smith. Appearances for the record, please.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Thank you. Do I have Laura Jackson or Linda Smith or any resident of 6224 Rick Street, number 286? Hearing no response and seeing nobody labeled that way in the courtroom, I do see that service was by posting, but the second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
We move for a default judgment on this matter. The amount of rent due and owing is $2,497.06. Court costs $214 for a total amount due and owing of $2,711.06. We request judgment for possession only with writ to issue after 10 days.
The court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the total amount to retain being $2,711.06 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. Now calling 24C0642. This is Lakeview versus Joseph Lance and Samantha Lance.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Do I have Joseph Lance, Samantha Lance, or any resident of 6039 Lake Drive, number 112? Hearing no response and seeing nobody labeled that way in the courtroom, I do see that service was by delivery to a member of the defendant's household. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
We request a default judgment. The amount of rent due and owing is $2,228.57. Court cost of $214 for a total amount of $2,442.57. We request judgment for that amount with the writ to issue after 10 days.
Okay, so this is a default judgment for possession only. The amount to retain is $2,442.57 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. Now calling 24C0643. This is Lakeview versus Justin Langlois, excuse me, and Stephanie Langlois.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay. And ma'am, state your name for the record. I apologize for mangling your last name.
Stephanie Langlois. That's okay. No worries.
Okay, so once again, you should have gotten one of these with your court paperwork. It does have the advice of rights on it. And if you are applying for assistance, the DC 539 needs to be turned into the court by Monday.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about that or about the advice of rights PowerPoint?
I don't know.
Okay, thank you. So this matter is being adjourned to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 2:30 in the afternoon in person. Attorney Saperstein, the balance.
The amount of rent due is $1,350.79. Court cost $214 for a total amount of $1,564.79.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, can I say something? Now, I paid February's rent. All of February's paid. I only owe a remainder balance of $509 for March, and I have the receipt here.
Excellent. Bring it with you to the next hearing, please.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. If there's nothing else, then you are free to sign out of Zoom. This hearing is concluded.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Now calling case number 24C0644. This is Lakeview versus Charles Magera and Tina Magera.
Andrew Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay, ma'am, now you can state your name for the record.
Tina Magera.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So, yet again, you should have gotten one of these in with your court paperwork. If you are applying for assistance, that is the DC 539. Yes. Okay. Do you have any questions about any of that or about the advice of rights presentation?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. This matter is being adjourned to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 2:30 in the afternoon in person. Attorney Saperstein, the balance.
$1,540.60. Court cost $214 for a total amount due knowing of $1,754.60.
Ms. Magera, did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. If you don't have any questions and don't have anything else, then this hearing is concluded. You are free to sign out of Zoom.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The court is taking an extremely brief recess. The recess will be slightly longer than originally planned. Give us a couple minutes. 214B is back in session. Now calling 24C0645. This is Lakeview versus Rosie Massey.
Andrew Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Do I have Rosie Massey or any resident of 6255 Sheldon Street, number 309? Okay. Hearing no response. I do see that service was by posting, but the second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
We move for a default judgment on this matter. The amount of rent due knowing is $905.60. Court costs $172 for a total of $1,077.60. We request judgment for possession only with the writ to issue after 10 days.
Okay, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only. The amount to retain being $1,077.60. The pay or vacate date of April 1st. No writ to issue without a hearing. Now calling 24C0646. This is Lakeview versus MJS Property Investors.
Andrew Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Thank you. Do I have anybody here on behalf of this MJS Property Investors? Okay. Having heard no response.
We request a default judgment on this matter. The amount of rent due is $140.56. There are no court costs, so the total amount is $140.56.
Sorry, did you say 56 or 66?
56.
56.
56.
Okay. Okay. So I do see that service was by posting. The second mailing did go out. There is nobody in here labeled MJS Property Investors. There doesn't seem to be anybody from 6218 Rick Street, number 030. Okay. Then the court will enter a default judgment for possession only with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. The total amount to retain being $140.56. No writ will issue without a hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now calling 24C0648. This is Lakeview versus Sandra Payne.
Andrew Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Do I have Sandra Payne or a resident of 6122 Bob Drive, number 048? Having heard no response, I do see that service was by delivery to a member of the defendant's household, but the second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
We move for a default judgment for possession only. The amount of rent due knowing is $3,811.48. Court costs $172 for a total amount of $3,983.48. We request judgment for possession only with the writ to issue after 10 days.
Okay, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. The total amount to retain being $3,983.48.
Thank you.
Now calling case number 24C0652. This is Lakeview versus Joyce Sistrunk.
Andrew Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. And Joyce Sistrunk, I do see that you have called in on the phone. You need to hit *6 to unmute.
Joyce Sistrunk.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I know that you were unable to see the presentation. Were you able to hear it okay?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Okay, so what I will do at the conclusion of your hearing is put you into a breakout room with our court liaison so that she can give you more information if you need any more information. Okay. Do you have any
Okay.
questions about your rights at this time?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. This matter is being adjourned to March 27th, 2024, and that will be at 2:30 in the afternoon in person. Attorney Saperstein, the balance.
The amount of rent due is
Okay.
$888.65. Court costs $172 for a total amount of $1,060.65.
Okay. Did you hear that, Ms. Sistrunk?
1,000 and I'm sorry.
It's 1,060, so 1060 and 65 cents.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. If you don't have any questions, you do have your next court date. This hearing is concluded. I will put you into the breakout room with the court liaison.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Now calling 24C0653. This is Lakeview versus Yolanda Taylor.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Do I have Yolanda Taylor, Orny resident of 9948 Jones Circle, number 138? Okay, not hearing any response. I do see that service was by posting. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
Yes, we move for a default judgment on this matter. The amount of rent due and owing is $5,428.30. Court costs $172 for a total amount due and owing of $5,600.30. And we request judgment of default judgment for possession only with the writ to issue after 10 days.
Okay, thank you. The court is willing to enter the default judgment for possession only, the amount to retain being $5,630 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. Thank you. Now calling 24C0654. This is Lakeview versus Kayla Williams.
Andrea Saperstein here on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Do I have Kayla Williams, or any resident of 6258 Lake Drive, number 317? Okay, hearing no response, I do see that there was personal service. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
Yes, we move for a default judgment on this matter. The amount of rent due and owing is $1,228.30. There are court costs of $172 for a total amount due and owing of $1,400.30. And request judgment in that amount with the writ to issue after 10 days.
Once again, this is not a money judgment. This is a default judgment for possession only. The amount to retain is $1,400.30. There is a pay or vacate date of April 1st. No writ will issue without a hearing, as that amount falls below the judge's threshold. And I believe, Attorney Saperstein, that concludes your portion of the docket.
Yes, thank you very much.
Excuse me. I
Yes.
apologize. But I was supposed to show up in court today. My case was 24C-0638 against Lakeview, Don Harrison occupants.
That one was dismissed.
All right, I just wasn't notified. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello?
Hi, are you also, is that, Mr. Fantera? Is Gary Hamilton one of yours?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then Mr. Hamilton, you can go back on mute for now.
Oh,
Okay, so Attorney Saperstein, then I think, I
Okay,
think so.
I just don't know if anyone else is gonna come on. Okay. Thank you so much.
Mr. Fantera, I don't know if you saw my message in the chat. I am not inclined to let people in at this point as they haven't seen the advice of rights presentation. So
I
I
understand.
will, okay.
And I've had a couple of people call me or text me telling me that they got kicked out. And so I don't know if they got back in, but we'll deal with that when you call their case.
Yes, if it's somebody that has reached out to you, like this Morgan Richardson, then I do want to know because I will set them for next week.
Yeah, and actually I talked to my client about that one, and I was going to adjourn that one till next week at 8:30. And I also was going to tell her, because I think she said she applied for DHS, that she needs to get a copy of the 539 into the court up by Monday, and then we will deal with her next Wednesday. So yeah, I think I'm prepared on the ones that have been reaching out to me.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Just given the volume today, letting people in and showing the PowerPoint again was not
going to happen. I get it.
Yeah. So, okay. Now calling 24C0743. This is Brookwood Apartments versus Keisha Jordan.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Keisha Jordan.
Okay, thank you. So, once again, you should have received one of these with your court paperwork. It does have the full advice rights on the back. And once again, with the DC 539, if you have applied for rental assistance. Do you have any questions about that or about the advice of rights presentation?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So this matter is being adjourned to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 2:30 in the afternoon in person. Mr. Fantera, the balance as you have it.
Including court costs, it's $1,038.
Okay, did you get that, Ms. Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Then if you don't have any questions at this time, the hearing is concluded. You are free to sign out of Zoom.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Now calling case number 24C0745. This is HCM LLC versus Denicia Thompson.
Good afternoon. Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Now, there is a person labeled as Denicia in the waiting room. As I have already noted, due to the volume of the docket today, I am not letting people in from the waiting room as they haven't seen the advice of rights video. So I will be adjourning this 1 week to March 27th at 8:30 in the morning. That will be in front of me.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Now calling 24C0747. This is HCM LLC versus Douglas Falk.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Do I have Douglas Falk or any resident of 415 North Harris Road, number 4? Okay. Hearing no response and seeing nobody labeled this way in the courtroom, I will say to Ms. Isom, please do not eat on camera while you are in court. Okay. Again, no response. I do see that service was to a member of the defendant's household. The second mailing did go out. Attorney Fantera, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the best of your information, knowledge, and belief?
I do. Your Honor, I'm David Fantera. I'm the attorney for HCM LLC, and as such, I'm familiar with the books and records as they relate to this tenancy. In this case, there's rent owing in the amount of $1,750. court costs of $177 for a total of $1,927. We'd ask for a judgment for possession with a writ to issue after 10 days if that amount remains unpaid.
Okay, thank you. And at this time, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the amount to retain being $1,927 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. Now calling 24C0748. This is HCM LLC versus Alexis Bland.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Do I have Alexis Bland or any resident of 25 Johnson Street, number 9? Attorney
Your Honor, may
Fanter.
I?
Well, I do see somebody labeled as Alexis Melanda. Is that another tenant?
Yeah, that's a separate person. That's Alexa Melanda as opposed to Bland.
Okay. Okay, then having heard no response, and I don't see anybody in the courtroom labeled as Alexis Bland. I do see that service was personal. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
Well, I spoke to my client and she made a $3,000 payment yesterday and is going to pay the balance tomorrow. So rather than taking a judgment, my client asked me if we could adjourn this case to your docket next week at 8:30.
Okay.
I normally wouldn't do that, but I think we've already done it on the one. So if that's okay.
Then, yes, this matter will be adjourned to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 8:30 in the morning in front of me.
All right. Thank you for letting me do that.
Yep, no problem here. Give me just a moment. Two 4C0750. This is the Ranches of Rosebrook versus Monaha. And I'm sorry if I said that wrong. MONAJHA Brown.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of the plaintiff.
This time, the court does not see anybody labeled as Monaha Brown or any resident of 1245 Russell Street. I do see that there was personal service. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
Yes, we'd request a default judgment. The amount of rent that's owed is $2,182. Court costs of $177 for a total of $23.59. We'd ask for a judgment for possession with a writ after 10 days if that amount remains unpaid.
Okay, at this time, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only with a pay or vacate date of April 1st, the amount to retain being $2,359. Now calling 24C0757. This is the Ranches of Rosebrook versus Takisa Garrison.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Do I have Takisa Garrison or any resident of 86 Russell Court? Having heard no response, I do see that service was by delivery to a member of the defendant's household, and the second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
Yes, we'd request a default judgment. The amount of rent that's owed is $1,810. Court costs of $177 for a total of $1,987. We'd ask for a judgment for possession with a writ after 10 days if that amount remains unpaid.
Okay, at this time, the court's willing to enter a default judgment for possession only in the amount of $1,987 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. Now calling 24C0758. This is the Ranches of Rosebrook versus Morgan Richardson.
Good morning, David Fanter on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. And at this time, we do have Morgan Richardson in the waiting room, but as previously stated, They have not seen the advice of rights presentation. I am not letting them in from the waiting room. They are being adjourned to next week at 8:30.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now calling 24C0759. This is the Ranches of Rosebrook versus James Johnson Reed.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantair on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Johnson Reed, can you state your name?
James Johnson Reed.
Okay, thank you very much. So, as previously mentioned multiple times, you should have gotten one of the.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the rental assistance form to fill out is the DC.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I want everybody to know. You have experience with that, and it's very important. So, okay, thank you. Do you have any questions about those or about your rights?
No, ma'am. I just asked if I can get.
If I can interject something. His sister called me while I was waiting, and they made a $900 payment, which I was able to verify, and they're going to pay the balance by the 29th. So if we could adjourn this one till April 3rd, I think they'll be having it paid, and then we'll just dismiss. He should understand that if they don't get it paid when we come back on the 3rd, we'll be taking a judgment that includes April rent. But I'm confident that they're going to do what they say they're going to do.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Johnson Reed, did you hear all that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then what I will do is adjourn your matter to April 3rd, 2024. That will be at 2 in the afternoon in person in front of Judge Washington.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. If you don't have any questions, there's
No,
nothing else.
ma'am. I know your arm tired from raising that paper so much.
Thanks. This hearing is concluded. You are free to sign out of Zoom.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ventura.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Now calling 24C0761. This is the Ranches of Rosebrook versus Janice Fuller.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantair on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. And Janice Fuller, can you please state your name for the record?
Yes, Janice Fuller.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Since I have been doing it for everyone else, you should have gotten one of these with your court paperwork, and again with the DC 539 if you've applied for rental assistance. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about those or about the advice of rights presentation?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Then I will be adjourning this to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 2:30 in the afternoon in person. And Mr. Fantera, the balance as you have it, please.
$1,982, and that amount includes court costs.
Okay. And did you hear that, Ms. Fuller?
Can you repeat it for me, please?
$1,982 total.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. If you don't have any questions, you don't have anything else, then this hearing is concluded. You are free to sign out of Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Now calling 24C0762. This is the Ranches of Rosebrook versus Jade Lewis.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantair on behalf of the plaintiff.
Thank you. Do I have Jade Lewis or any resident of 185 Russell Court? Bless you. Okay, hearing no response, seeing nobody labeled this way in the courtroom or in the waiting room. I do see that service was by posting. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
Yes, Your Honor. We ask for a default judgment. The amount of rent that's owed is $925. Court costs of $177 for a total of $1,102. We'd ask for a judgment for possession with a writ after 10 days if that amount remains unpaid, and because it's below the judge's threshold, no writ without a hearing.
Yes, that is correct. So the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only with the amount to retain being $1,102. A pay or vacate date of April 1st, no writ without a hearing. Now calling 24C0764. This is Bushwood Properties LLC versus Sharon Wilson.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of the plaintiff.
Thank you. Sharon Wilson. I'm going to send you a prompt to unmute.
Okay, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Can you state your name for the record, please?
I can't hear. Naisha. Oh, I can hear you now.
Hear me? Okay. State your name for the record, please.
Sharon Wilson.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, you should have gotten one of these with your court paperwork.
Yes.
That's got those resources on it, as well as the entire advice of rights. And then if you are applying for rental assistance or did already, then the court needs this DC 539 form by Monday.
Where do that form, where you get that form at?
So you can get it at the court, the 14B District Court. You can also print it off of the internet if you just Google Michigan DC 539. Okay. What I will do at the conclusion of your hearing is put you into a breakout room with our court liaison because she can explain a little bit better and give you more information. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Your Honor, could I address something on Miss Wilson's case, please?
Yes.
So, she called me a couple of weeks ago, and I finally just got a ledger from my client yesterday. And she's been paying her rent, but the reason for this case is we are missing the payment from October. So if she made that payment, she should bring a copy of the money order over to the office that she visited yesterday, and we can resolve this hopefully next week. If she didn't pay it, then that's why she's here today. And I left that message to her yesterday on her cell phone. I didn't hear back, but I just wanted to make sure that she knows the basis for this case. And if she did pay October, then she can bring a copy of the money order or whatever to the office and we'll get that resolved. If she didn't pay it, then we'll deal with that next week.
Okay.
Oh, can I say something, please? When I went to Red Shields yesterday, she gave me a printout where the rent done been being paid on time every month. And she also gave me a ledger paper saying that I had credit for $900. And
yeah, but that ledger stopped in May. So I got a new ledger after you got that. So I'm telling you that, and Your Honor, part of the confusion is ownership hasn't changed, but they went from Red Shield to BO back to Red Shield. And I've reviewed the ledger. They are missing her October payment.
Okay.
So if you get a copy of that, and take it over to them, we can probably resolve this before next week, because I think once that goes away, then a whole bunch of other things will drop off. So it's the payment for October of 2023.
Okay. And I would say that if you have more questions about this, you should probably call Mr. Fantera after court. Okay.
Okay.
And whatever paperwork you have regarding whatever payments that you've made, anything that you've got, bring it with you to the hearing next week if this isn't all resolved before then. Okay. I am adjourning this to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 2:30 in the afternoon in person.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you don't have any questions, you're free to sign out of Zoom.
All right. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Good day. Bye-bye.
Bye. Now calling case number 24C0765. This is Bushwood Properties LLC versus Eugene Williams.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. Do I have Eugene Williams or any resident of 815 George Place number 3? Having heard no response and seeing nobody labeled this way, I do see that service was personal. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
Yes, we'd request a default judgment. The amount of rent that's owed is $838 court costs of $175 for a total of $1,013. We'd ask for a judgment for possession with a writ after 10 days if that amount remains unpaid. And because of the amount being below the threshold, no writ without a hearing.
Okay, the court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. The amount to retain is $1,013. No writ to issue without a hearing. Now calling. Oh, this is going to be fun. Now calling case number 24C0766. This is 922 Holmes LLC versus Leon Isom and Shondella Isom. Leon Isom is not connected to audio, but we do have Shondella Isom. Okay, so ma'am, I do need you to unmute. Mr. Fantera.
I'm here.
Thank you. Give me just a second. Mr.
No,
Fantera.
David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Isom, please state your name.
My name is Shondella Isom. Who are you here to see? I'm sorry, I'm at work, so I'm gonna have to unmute. Mute back up.
Okay, well, I should point out Leon Isom is not connected to audio and cannot hear anything that is happening.
He can't hear you either?
No.
Hold on, let me try to.
Okay.
Let me try to send him an inbox.
Okay, I'm going to mute you for now and, oh, wait.
Thank you, because I am at work.
Okay, just a second.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to set this aside for a second while he figures out how to connect to audio. Someone who's here, so you're aware. Now calling case number 24C0774. This is Jomar Realty versus Alexis Melanda.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you. Mr. Fantera, your appearance.
David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. So Alexis Melanda, you should have gotten this form with your court paperwork.
Okay.
And if you are applying for rental assistance, that DC 539 form needs to be at the court by Monday. Now, do you have any questions about any of that or the advice of rights presentation?
No, just what can I get the form?
So either online, just by looking up DC 539, or you can get it from the 14B District Court.
Okay. What the date? Next Monday or this week?
You need it. It needs to be here by Monday. If you have more questions about that part of it, I can put you into a breakout room with the court liaison.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No,
So
just it's okay. Just one question. Oh, okay. So just I can make payment maybe in 10 days. It's okay.
Okay. I'm going to adjourn this to March 27th, 2024.
Yes,
2:30
okay.
in the afternoon in person. And Mr. Fantera, what do you have the balance as?
Yes, it is, including court costs, it's $906.
Okay.
Okay. So, Mr.
March
Melanda,
27th.
yes,
Okay.
March 27th at 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm going to send you an invitation to a breakout room.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I have to wait. Oh. Okay. Sorry, give me just a second. Okay. Now calling case number 24C0769. This is Jomar Realty versus Gary Hamilton.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of the plaintiff.
This is him. How you doing?
Hi, state your name for the record, please.
Gary Hamilton.
Okay, thank you. And you should have gotten one of these with your court paperwork that has the advice of rights on the back as well as the resources. And then once again, the DC 539 needs to be submitted by Monday if you have or are applying for rental assistance. Do you have any questions about that or about the advice of rights presentation?
Yes. Can I say something to the plaintiff?
So we're not having a hearing on the merits of the case right now. If you need to discuss then you should contact him after court.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. This matter is being adjourned to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 2:30 in the afternoon in person. And as stated, you can reach out to the attorney beforehand. You can retain your own attorney. If you have questions, once again, about any of your rights or anything, I can put you into a breakout room with the court liaison. But aside from that, Mr. Fantera, do you have the balance?
Yes, Mr. Hamilton's balance is $2,087.
And that's inclusive of costs?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hamilton, did you hear that?
Yes. Can I ask the judge?
I'm sorry.
Can I ask you a question, Judge, please?
So I will say that's the balance as he has it on his ledger now. So if you've got information that would dispute that, you can bring it with you to the next hearing.
No, I have no dispute. I'm gonna pay all of it. I'm just asking because I can't afford a day off of work. So I want to know, can I, instead of having to meet in person?
Hello?
No, Mr. Isom, wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Hamilton. So you're asking if you can appear by Zoom?
Yeah, because I've been at work the whole time. I just had you in my headphones. So on Wednesday, can I just meet over Zoom? Because I'll have a whole balance paid next Thursday. So
okay, so couple things. One, if the entire balance is zero prior to the next court date, then Mr. Fantera will likely be filing a dismissal at that point. Also, if you need to arrange for a Zoom hearing, then once you hang up from court now, call the court and set that up with the clerks. You need to request it through them. Okay?
Your Honor, may I? I think what Mr. Hamilton said was that he was going to pay the entire balance by next Thursday. Is that correct, Mr. Hamilton?
yes, sir. That's what I meant. And that way I don't have to take next Wednesday
Your Honor,
off.
could you adjourn this case till April 3rd?
Yes.
And then we don't need to
Thank
worry
you.
about it. So, Mr. Hamilton, if you pay by next Thursday, I'll dismiss. If you don't, when we come back on April 3rd, then you would owe April also, and we'll be dealing with all 3 months. So just make sure you do what you just said.
Yep, no problem. I'll take care of that.
Okay.
Actually, can you call me later today?
No, sir, I can't.
Okay. I'm going to note for everybody, because I am still here, that yes, the case is being adjourned to April 3rd. That will still be at 2:30 in the afternoon in person. So Mr. Hamilton, again, if you need to arrange for that to be by Zoom, call the clerks once you hang up from here. If you don't have any further questions, this hearing is concluded and you can sign out of Zoom. Okay. Recalling case number 24C0766. This is 922 Homes LLC versus Leon Isom and Shondella Isom. So, Mr. Fantera, I believe you already put your appearance on. Mr. Isom, now that you have connected to audio, please unmute. I just sent you a prompt.
Okay.
Okay, state your name for the record.
Leon Isom.
Okay, thank you. Now, you were not connected to audio that entire time, and Ms. Isom, I do need you to unmute for a minute, because presumably, sir, you were not able to hear the presentation.
Yes, I did.
He
I heard
heard it.
everything. I heard everything.
He heard it.
Okay,
So did I.
okay, well, good, okay.
Your Honor, I'm a little concerned about something though, because Shondella Isom's caption says Shondella Isom / Beal Properties. This property hasn't been managed by Beal since last October. So I just want to make sure they understand that they are not, that this is not Beal.
But the lease we have is a Beal lease.
Okay.
We don't have a lease with Red Shield.
But that doesn't matter.
Okay.
So, okay, I just want to make sure.
I'm not on it, no way. They don't have a lease with my signature, no way. Bill does.
I am cutting everybody off right now.
I moved out in January.
Okay. I'm cutting everybody off because this is not a hearing on the merits of what's going on. Thank you, Mr. Fantera, for your attempt to clarify there.
Okay, hold on. I want to say something. Can I?
No, we're not having a hearing on the merits of the case. What I am doing right now is trying to make sure that you understand your rights as tenants based on the presentation that you apparently could hear and see earlier. You have also gotten one of these forms with your court paperwork, and it has the advice of rights on the back of it. I am adjourning this matter to March 27th, 2024 at 2:30 in the afternoon in person. I am going to send you an invitation to a breakout room with the court liaison so that if you have any questions about the PowerPoint presentation, you can ask them at that point. Mr. Fantera, what is the balance as you have it?
$3,322, and that amount includes court costs.
Okay, so that is the amount as you have it. If the parties have anything else, they should bring all of their paperwork with them to the next hearing, which is again March 27th at 2:30 in the afternoon in person at the 14B District Court. I am going to send you an invitation to the breakout room now. Your hearing is concluded.
And I apologize, Your Honor. I wasn't trying to confuse things. I was trying to make sure that they weren't paying the wrong party.
Yep, that makes sense. I just didn't want to open that can of worms.
I get it. I get it.
Okay. Now calling 24C0771. This is Jomar Realty versus DeAndre Seed.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you.
And Jimmy Cook coming for DeAndre Seed from the other occupants.
Okay, thank you. And are you an occupant of 7115 Browning Court?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Then you do indeed have standing to appear. So, were you able to see the advice of rights presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did
I see in the paper, you don't have to hold it up.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so if you don't have any questions about that or about the advice of rights presentation, do you, I should say, have any questions?
No, not at this moment. I know what I have a question about. You can't help me, so I can't talk about it at the moment. So I'll just wait until the court date.
Okay, so and again, you can reach out to an attorney of your own. You can reach out to the landlord after court. There are a couple other things that you can do. So, okay. I will be adjourning this then to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 2:30 in the afternoon in person before Judge Washington. Mr. Fantera, what is the balance as you have it?
The balance is $2,192, but I do have a comment, 2 comments. I've dealt with Mr. Seed half a dozen or more times. He's always appeared. There is nobody else listed on his lease as an occupant. So I won't object today, but I would strongly suggest that Mr. Seed appear next week. I mean, the occupant can appear also, but considering that the lease only says DeAndre Seed, I would strongly recommend that Mr. Seed make arrangements to appear next week also.
The paperwork says all other occupants.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that you're not even listed on his lease as an occupant. So Mr. Seed needs to be there, or I will be defaulting him.
Okay.
Okay. Did you understand that though, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you've got your next court date. If you don't have any further questions for the court, then this hearing is concluded. You are free to sign out of Zoom.
And thank you. Have a good day.
Now calling case number 24C0776. This is Jomar Realty versus Jordan Valenti and Christopher Crawford.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of the plaintiff.
Thank you. Jordan Valenti, can you state your name for the record, please?
Jordan Valenti.
Okay, thank you. And
I do apologize. Sorry to interrupt. I am at work, so if you hear any crazy noises, that's why.
Okay. So once again, you should have gotten one of these with your court paperwork.
Yes.
And then the DC 539 is the form that the court needs by Monday if you are applying for rental assistance.
Okay. I am actually not. I'm in the
don't
process
worry
of paying my balance.
Okay.
Ms. Valenti, when will you be paying the balance? Because I see that you've already made a payment.
Yeah, I get paid weekly. So I'll be making a $600 payment tomorrow. And then I will be paying the rest before next week.
Before next week, meaning before next Wednesday or after next Wednesday?
Possibly before next Wednesday. If not, it will be next Thursday, but for sure.
Your Honor, can we adjourn this to the 3rd so that she can pay her balance is 826 for the court's records. And so I'd rather just give her the time to get the whole thing paid and then wind up dismissing.
Okay.
I do appreciate it, Mr. Pantera.
Okay. So then this, just to be absolutely 1000% clear though, do you have any questions about your rights at this time?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So this matter will be adjourned to April 3rd, 2024 at 2:30 in the afternoon in person. And if you don't have any further questions, then you are free to sign out of Zoom.
You said April 3rd at 2:30? All right, thank you.
Now calling case number 24C0779. This is Tall LLC versus LeBron Haywood.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of the plaintiff.
Uh-oh. Okay, thank you, LeBron Haywood. Okay, can LeBron Haywood state his name?
LeBron, it's Jabron. I'm sorry, Your Honor. With a J.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, it is spelled with an L on everything.
That's how it was given to me, Your Honor.
Okay. So, okay, Jabron Haywood, can you state your name for the record?
Jabron has a difficult time breathing. He has restricted airway, cancer. He's not very well at all, and that's why I'm here helping him speak. My name is Tim, good friend.
Okay, thank you. What was your last name?
Troin, Troin.
Okay. And for the record, the court was very faintly able to hear Mr. Haywood state his name. So thank you. Okay. Yes, I'm letting the record reflect that I was able to hear that and I was able to see him say it. So thank you. Okay. Were you able to hear the presentation? And
yes, we were, both of us. And he was, okay.
Okay, and just to be clear once again, you should have received this form with the court paper. Okay. Okay, you're a little bit muffled all of a sudden. I'm not sure if you're holding something in front of the speaker.
Is that better?
Yes, that's better. Okay.
Oh, good.
And again, if you are applying for any sort of assistance, it's the DC 539 form that needs to be turned into the court by Monday. If you have questions about this, I can put you into the breakout room with the court liaison.
Not this time.
Okay. Do you have any questions about your rights, Mr. Haywood?
What questions do you have? No, no questions. We signed it.
Okay. So this matter will be adjourned to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 2:30 in the afternoon in person. If you need to arrange for it to be over Zoom, you have to call the court and do that with the clerks. Okay.
We'll have to do it over Zoom.
Yeah,
So
so I'm only able to set them in person at this point. So you'll need to call, the court's telephone number is on the court paperwork, but I can give it to you now as well.
We have the court paperwork right here in front of us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Fantera, the balance?
The balance is 1,482.56. And Your Honor, not trying to be difficult at all. But my concern would be about doing this by Zoom again, where somebody who is not Jabron Haywood and who is not an attorney doing the majority of the speaking. I understand that works today, but I don't know how that works next week. Because, we normally require, if not the person, it's got to be an attorney. And I'm a little concerned about who's really doing the speaking here, if we do it by Zoom again next week.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fantera. Your concern is noted. So what I am going to do, Mr. Troyne and Mr. Haywood, who I'm assuming is still there, I am going to put you into the breakout room with the court liaison because I think you should.
Yeah,
Mr. Haywood, Mr. Haywood needs to strongly consider getting legal representation.
I'm sorry, he stepped out of the room here real quick. If you can give me a brief second, I can pull him back in here.
Okay. I'm gonna put you into the breakout room with the court liaison. The point that I'm trying to make though is that Mr. Fantera really is correct that you are not an attorney. He was here sitting next to you, so that was fine, for the purposes of getting an adjournment this time. But I would strongly recommend that he either look into getting legal counsel or appear in person at the next hearing. So
I think he'll have to pay the bill, but that's what if he pays, then he'll be okay. He's coming back. Jabron, I need you over here. They need you over here. Just sit down. There we go.
Okay. And please pull your shirt too, sir. Or thank you. Okay, so you are aware, because Mr. Troyne here is not an attorney, he cannot represent you in court. Okay, so either you're going to have to come in person next week, or what I'm going to do now is put you into a breakout room with our court liaison, because there are resources for getting legal help. And if you're going to have someone represent you in court, it needs to be an attorney. And there are free and low cost attorneys. So I'm going to put you into the breakout room with the court liaison so she can give you more information.
He's just saying all I needed was some time to pay it. So if there's that's really what he's after, is some time to pay it. But if it's another 7 days, is that what? A diversion? Oh, the first of the month.
Okay. Mr. Fantera, are you willing to adjourn this one out to April 3rd?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do that. I'm still putting you in the breakout room with the court liaison, but your new date is going to be April 3rd.
So I also want to make them aware of something that's not part of this case, but they need to be dealing with in case I don't see them again, is that we received a notification from the township about ordinance violations regarding the condition of the outside of the house. So that needs to be dealt with also.
Okay.
As we speak, there's a tow truck out here. I could show you. He's here to pick up that car.
Okay, good. Then you're dealing with everything that I need dealt with. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So you're going to get the invitation to the breakout room momentarily.
Thank you. What?
Amy, you should have that invitation. Okay. So to this person on the Alcatel Joy tab who's at work and isn't labeled, who are you?
I'm not sure if that's me, but my name is Renee.
Sorry, say that again.
Renee Mitchell, Renee. Last name Mitchell.
Her case was dismissed.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, but you can sign out. You do not need to be here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, Mr. Pantera.
Your Honor, I got a call from Mr. Ferguson about 30 seconds ago, and I know he was on at the beginning because he was the person who kept unmuting.
Yes, he kept
so-
unmuting, and then at some point his screen was strobing and was very distracting, so I turned it off, and he apparently interpreted that as being disconnected. He reached out to the court as well. I'm not sure where he went since then. I will adjourn his matter.
Yep, he's calling me right now. Do you want me to ask him?
Or
Mr. Ferguson? Mr. Ferguson? Hello?
if it's not working, then let's get through these, please, because I have.
Yeah, at some point, yeah, yes.
Yes. Okay. So now calling 24C0767. This is 922 Holmes LLC versus Cornelius Smith.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. And the court does not see anybody labeled Cornelius Smith nor any resident of 948 Holmes Road, number 5. I do see that service was by posting. The second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions? And did I swear you in already, correct?
I want to state. Yeah, I want to state for the record that while I was waiting, Mr. Cornelius Smith called me complaining about the condition of the apartment.
Okay. And he called the court as well. So I will be adjourning this one as well, actually.
So I told him he needed to stay on or get on, and he was going to go to the office and just pay it. So if the court wants to adjourn it till next, do I hear you adjourning it to next week at 8:30 before you?
Yes, you do. He signed in and then he dropped off for some reason. And
I tried to tell him to stay on or get on, and
okay. So his matter is being adjourned to March 27th, 2024 at 8:30 in the morning in front of me over Zoom.
and hopefully he'll pay like he said he was going to, and I'll just dismiss.
Yes, although you may wish to consider having somebody check out whatever the conditions were that he was.
Yeah, I was going to do that no matter what.
Okay, thank you. Now calling 24C0768. This is 922 Holmes LLC versus Laman Simpson Sr.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, and at this time, I do not see anyone labeled thus in the courtroom, nor any resident of 950 Holmes Road, number 5. I do see that service was by posting, but the second mailing did go out. Do you have any motions?
Yes, we'd like to request a default judgment. The amount of rent that's owed is $2,981. Court costs of $175 for a total of $3,156. We'd ask for a judgment for possession with a writ after 10 days if that amount remains unpaid.
Okay, thank you. The court is willing to enter a default judgment for possession only, the amount to retain being $3,156 total with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. 24C0770. This is Joe Mar Realty versus Clyde Cosby.
David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay. At this time, I do not see anybody labeled Clyde Cosby nor any resident of 810-2 North Redwood Avenue. I do see that service was personal. The second mailing did not go out, but there was personal service. So, do you have any motion?
The defendant has paid his rent, but he still owes the court costs of 162. So what I would ask for, I think I've done this before, Your Honor, is we would request a default judgment for the court costs of 162. Obviously, no writ without a hearing, and I will put under the further orders that if it's paid, the judgment will be set aside.
Okay, so at this time, the court will enter a default judgment for possession only. The total amount to retain being the court costs of $162. There's a pay or vacate date of April 1st. There will be no writ without a hearing, and the plaintiff's attorney has stated that the judgment will be set aside if it is paid.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. 24C0773. This is Jomar Realty versus Naomi Johnson.
David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. And at this time, I don't see anyone labeled Naomi Johnson nor any resident of 747 Forest Court. I do see that there was personal service. There was no second mailing.
Your Honor, we would request a default judgment. The amount of rent that's owed is $950, court costs of $162 for a total of $1,112. We'd ask for a judgment for possession with a writ after 10 days. And because of the amount, no writ without a hearing.
Okay, thank you. Court will enter a default judgment for possession only with the amount to retain being $1,112. That is $1,112 with a pay or vacate date of April 1st. No writ to issue without a hearing. Two 4C0775. This is Jomar Realty versus Kawana Lee.
David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, and at this time, the court does not see Kawana Lee, nor any resident of 844 Forest Court. I do see that service was by posting. There was no second mailing. Therefore, this matter will be adjourned to March 27th, 2024 at 8:30 in the morning in front of me.
I just want to say for the record, she just called me 2 minutes ago. I did not answer. I did because I was talking to you. So I don't know what she was calling, but the case is being adjourned anyway. So
now calling 24C0777. This is Jomar Realty versus Tanisha Thompson.
David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, thank you. And at this time, the court does not see Tanisha Thompson nor any resident of 795-5 North Rosewood. I do see that service was by posting. There was no second mailing. So this matter is being adjourned to March 27th, 2024. That will be at 8:30 in the morning over Zoom in front of me.
And for the record, Your Honor, the balance is 1127.
Thank you. Total?
Yes.
Okay. And finally, case number 24C0778. This is Jomar Realty versus Michael Ferguson.
David Fantera on behalf of the plaintiff.
Thank you. And at this time, Michael Ferguson is not in the courtroom. I do not see him in the waiting room either. He was present. So he has not returned. I will adjourn this to I think he was
8:30 before you, Your Honor.
Well, no, because I'm thinking he was here for the entire presentation. Like he was here for all of court and just dropped off after I turned his camera off because it was very distracting. So what I am going to do is set him in front of the judge, because as far as I know, he was here for the entire presentation. He certainly saw me hold up that form about 1,000 times. So he's being adjourned to March 27th, 2024. And that will be at 2:30 in the afternoon in person before Judge Washington. And what is the balance, please?
1132, including court costs.
Okay, I believe that concludes the landlord tenant docket for this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.